My ex-fiancé in the UK sent me a message saying it was snowing in London. I miss you so much. What are you doing? As a rich young man, I am feeding chickens in the village now. Will you bring chickens to see me before Christmas? I refused. No, and don't send me messages in the future. Your fiancé has changed. Nietzsche typed for a few minutes, and then a voice popped up. The signal here is not very good, and the voice has an electric sound. What does it mean to change people? Before I could reply, did he come to your place to make thunder again? I remember you are afraid of thunder. There was no thunder. A tractor drove over, and I spoke word by word trying to make it clear. In fact, I am not the son of the Han family. I am feeding chickens in the countryside now. The two families originally decided on the son of the Han family, and now they should change people. There was silence over there for a while. Before he was born, I hung up and blocked him neatly. This marriage is an exchange of interests between the two families. Now that we are not a good match, there is no possibility of being together. It is better to suffer a short pain than a long one. I covered my face. When tears were about to flow out, I remembered that I was going to pick eggs next. I would cry next time. When I left the Han family, I didn't take anything with me. My adoptive parents repeatedly asked me to take myself, clothes and jewelry with me. I declined all of them. Their biological son Han Xiaoqing stood aside. He grew up in the countryside. He was lively and cheerful, not restrained. He opened his clear eyes and spoke crisply. It was just an accident to hold the wrong child. It was not your fault. You can stay. I said, but I have lived a good life for you for so many years. At least let me go back and live the life you have lived. There are too many words and I almost bit my tongue. He scratched his head and said, okay. I only added Han Xiaoqing's green bubble before leaving. He said he would send me a PDF version of postpartum care for sows. If I have any questions about raising pigs and feeding chickens, I can ask him at any time. I took the bus back home with my courage and Han Xiaoqing's concern. I started to go up the mountain to cut grass and go down the mountain to feed chickens. Camouflage told me that the UK entered winter time, which means that the time difference between us has become 8 hours. We can love each other for an extra hour. After half a day in the village, I have already understood what love is. I only care about when my hens will lay eggs. So I turned and walked towards the chicken coop. The hen was lying on the eggs, which made me not know how to start. After thinking about it, I opened the green bubble and asked Han Xiaoqing how to dig out the hen lying on the eggs. He sent a voice message with a lively tone. Disciple, feed the chicken some corn first, then dig it out. This is the famous Archimedes principle. I grabbed a handful of corn and spread it on my hand to feed the chicken, then reached in, dug out a warm egg, put the egg down, washed my hands and said, "Thank you, Xiaoqing. Why are you being polite to me?" Halfway through the voice broadcast, his voice stopped, and there was the voice of his foster mother in the background. Han Xiaoqing, can you speak properly? I chuckled but felt it was a bit inappropriate, so I would knock on an electronic wooden fish later. Save up your own merits. And the family gathered at a wooden table to eat in the evening. I was a little restrained and only dared to add the vegetables in front of me. Grandma pulled her apron and spoke in a non-standard Mandarin. What's wrong, Xiaoli? Is the food not to your taste? I will go and kill a chicken tomorrow. I shook my head hurriedly, but she nodded, looking a little restrained. That's good. Just say if you need anything. I agree. It's pretty good here. But I'm a little uncomfortable at the beginning. 26. Han Xiaoqing made a video call with me at night. He lay on the bed, holding his chin. Are you used to it? I will get used to it gradually. At night, Han Xiaoqing made a video call with me. He was lying on the bed, resting his chin, still getting used to it. Big disciple, I will gradually get used to it. He sighed. When will I learn this kind of high EQ reply? I laughed. You are so smart, you will definitely learn it soon. You speak so nicely. Big disciple, let's go mow the grass together some other day. I nodded. Okay. We were talking about our current life when Han Xiaoqing suddenly changed the topic. Why did you block my sister-in-law? Sister-in-law, I hesitated. Who is it? Camouflage? I don't know what to say now. Han Xiaoqing just returned to the Han family. He doesn't look like he knows these things. I'd like to talk about what he does. He said he asked me to bring you a sentence. He asked me to read it in English. I'll take a picture of it for you if there is an accent. It's a passage from The Lord of the Rings. I would rather spend my short life with you than to see the vicissitudes of this world alone. Disciple, do you have anything to say? I thought about it, but I couldn't explain much at the moment, so I said that I would have sweet potato porridge tomorrow morning, and I would also add a bag of pickled mustard. Han Xiaoqing smiled with curved eyebrows. You really know how to eat. The next morning, the rooster crowed. I got up and ate a bowl of hot sweet potato porridge, and I also added pickled mustard as I wished. Then I can carry a basket to the mountain to cut grass. Grandma said that you can just rest at home and don't have to work. I insisted that I would do the work that Han Xiaoqing had done. He touched his head and was a little confused. I carried the basket and took the sickle, and went up the mountain according to the route given by Han Xiaoqing. There were dense trees and lush grass on the mountain. I couldn't see a single person for a long time. There was only the sound of wind blowing the leaves. I concentrated on cutting for half an hour. I was a little scared. Since I was a child, my foster mother told me not to go to such places alone. Even if I was killed, it would be difficult to find me. The more I thought about it, the more scared I became. I ran down the mountain with a basket of grass on my back. I ran too fast and fell. I was in a mess when I got home. My hair was messy and covered with leaves. I remembered that this was the suffering Han Xiaochen had suffered, and I felt even more guilty. After I got a signal, I sent him a message. "I'm sorry, Han Xiaochen, the eldest disciple, what happened to you?" I choked up a little. "I didn't expect you to have such a good life before." "It's so hard, Han Xiaocheng, I'm not. What have you been doing?" I replied. "I said I was mowing the grass," he replied. "So I was born to be the holy body of mowing the grass. Give me the sickle." I was amused and felt much more relaxed. I thought I would miss camouflage very much. But when I was feeding the chickens, I had no time to think about it. I was really fragile after learning that I was not a biological child. I was about to break, but the farm work I did made up for it. When I was busy, I would temporarily forget everything. For more than a month, Han Xiaocheng and I exchanged work experiences. Nietzsche tried various ways to pass messages to me. I was so twisted I was dreaming and didn't listen. As usual, Nietzsche would have a Christmas holiday in mid-December. Usually at this time I would fly to London to spend the holiday with him, but now I was afraid that he would roast my chicken as a turkey. I was just kidding. Our family backgrounds were so different that we couldn't be together. The first snow fell in the village. I took a video and sent it to Han Xiaochen. He was very excited and said he wanted to come back to see it. He also missed his original family. During the chat, he mentioned that camouflage had returned to China. I was stunned. Really? If he arrives, he will come to see you. If he comes to see me, then cook one more serving of sweet potato porridge. At night I dreamed of camouflage. He was wearing a camel-colored coat and walking under the angel lights. The white snow was falling like flying catkins. His eyes reflected the warm yellow lights of the street. "When I graduate, we will get married." I remember that my answer was yes, but in the dream I rubbed my hands honestly. "No, my sow is about to give birth. I have to go home first." And then I was awakened by the crowing of a rooster. I got up and put on a big flower jacket with red peonies printed on it, then took the feed and walked to the chicken coop, fed the chickens for a while, and then went back to drink hot porridge. Life was so plain and simple. It was almost noon when Han Xiaochen came over. The car stopped in the yard. He opened the door and ran down. He ran into the house and called Grandma like a baby bird returning to its nest. My foster mother came out slowly. He frowned when he saw me for the first time, with a trace of heartache in his eyes. "Xiaoli, you have lost weight." He walked to my side and took my hand as usual. "Come back after you have suffered. Xiaochen doesn't mind having another brother. Xiaochen is a very good person. I know he doesn't mind, but I will go back. It's not fair to him." I shook my head. "Forget it. He has lived like this for more than 20 years. I know that Han Xiaochen still needs a long time to get along with his family, and I am closer to his adoptive mother and more like him. The financial resources of the Han family are enough to provide both sons with a life of luxury, but I can't share it with peace of mind. What should have belonged to Han Xiaochen? I have helped him live a good life for more than 20 years. The adoptive mother sighed and said no more, looking at the distant mountains. At noon, Grandma killed a chicken with 2 chicken legs, one for Han Xiaochen and me. I seldom ate meat with bones before because it didn't taste elegant enough. Han Xiaochen had no burden and looked up. The adoptive mother frowned and glanced at him unhappily. In front of so many people, he pursing my lips, I didn't say it in the end. After dinner, Han Xiaochen cleaned up the dishes and went to the kitchen. My adoptive mother whispered in my ear, "Xiaochen can't compare to you after all. I raised you myself and you are much more sensible than him." I hesitated for a moment, and decided to call her Aunt Yun. Xiaochen would be sad to hear that. He just didn't need to learn it before, and he will do better and better in the future. He sighed and said, Okay. I stacked up the remaining dishes on the table and walked to the back kitchen. Han Xiaochen was washing the dishes with a loofah sponge. His movements were very skillful. I put down the dishes, walked up to him and said, "Let me do it," he said. "I wash them cleaner than you. Going requires me to insist. There is no reason for you to wash the dishes." After several fights, Han Xiaochen made some space for me. Okay. Then let's brush together and watch my high-end operation. It's guaranteed to be clean in the afternoon." Han Xiaochen brought his old woolen gloves and came to me to make a snowman. He made a ball of snow and chatted with me in a random manner. "Why don't you come, eldest disciple?" The wind was a little cold at the camouflage place. I covered the lower half of my face with a scarf and said in a muffled voice, "Because the Liu family is about matching up," he said. "But it's okay if you two like each other. I don't want to keep entangled with him, and then be separated by the elders at the end." What's more, camouflage should have been childhood sweethearts with Han Xiaochen. I didn't know how to tell him this, so I just lowered my head and whispered that he would be honest after his family stopped supplying him. When I mentioned camouflage, I felt a little stuffy in my chest, as if there was a net on my chest. Sadness is hard to vent, smile and become okay. I don't understand. Let's talk about the sow at home. The sow at home is about to give birth. He began to count on his fingers and told me how to care for the sow after giving birth. He looked at me steadily when he said this. "Xiaoli, you don't have to think that I suffered in the past. In fact, I am very happy. I am the only child in the family. Adults seldom let me work. It is I want to help. I also studied veterinary medicine in college just to go back to the village to deliver sows." He paused, held my hand and "Don't waste it." I nodded. My nose was sour. "Thank you, Xiaochen." After making the snowman, camouflage came. There was no room for the second car in the yard. He could only park the car at the entrance of the village, and then stepped on the not too thin or thick. The snow came over. Han Xiaochen stood up at once, turned around. and ran into the house. You guys chat, I'm leaving first, I haven't seen him for 3 months, there were fine snow particles on his eyelashes, and his cold white face was a little red from the wind. I can't steer the boat in late spring, but if you are on the faraway seashore, I will also brave the wind and waves to find your treasure. He has said this love word to me many times, but my mood is completely different now. What Zhou and Duo. Next time I return to China, I will be honest and take economy class. I don't understand, you lose when you speak human words. Even if you are in the village, I will come to you. Let's talk, shall we? We walked on the country road. Her voice was as pure as wine, it fell into my ears. This is the first time I saw you wearing such a flower jacket. It looked very nice. I sighed. I am no longer the eldest son of the Han family. I was taught since I was a child that even in love, we must be of equal status and not help the poor. Although I am the poor one now, the principle is similar. If I try to marry someone above my station, I will always be a head lower than you. When you were watching the angel lights light up in London, I was feeding chickens in the chicken coop. Camouflage giggled and said, "Come and feed me." He interrupted my attempt in such a sweet way. I was ready to cry in the snow, but now the sadness that had been brewing is gone. He put his hands in his coat pockets as if nothing had happened. Okay, I'm not very humorous, but shall we? It's enough that we love each other. My voice was a little hoarse. You are always so idealistic. He leaned in and looked at me. Your language still loves me. It feels like a punch on cotton. He said, I only recognize you, shall we? No matter whether you go to feed chickens or to dig manure. I asked if your parents don't support you and Master Jazz together, your card will be suspended. Your study abroad days will be very difficult. Camouflage, I have fists and feet. Tuition is not a problem. I also made a strategy in advance. I chose the safest and most affordable transportation method. I can take the bus to the northwest and then walk 100 kilometers every day to cross the English Channel. It's a bit troublesome. I will buy a good swim. The swimming ring is put on the neck. Don't worry, I bought a luminous one. I can swim at night. How long it takes to swim depends on the wind direction and wind strength. There is also a free seafood buffet on the sea. I can eat sashimi. I don't have to worry about accommodation. I can live in a homestay and get a homeless subsidy. He said a long string of words in one breath. I need some time to think about it. When I heard about walking 100 kilometers, my brain began to shrink. Should I take the pig's hand back from the museum and put it on my neck? He smiled and said no. I just want you to see my determination. I exhaled lightly and said, give me some more time to restart my life. You want to see what I usually do? I took him to the pigsty, put on the cuffs, and skillfully put them into the trough. Pouring pig food, the sow is about to give birth, and she needs to be fed medicine for deworming. The smell in the pig pen is not very pleasant, but there is no disgust on his face. From now on, I will cut the grass and you feed the pigs, and we will be happy for the rest of our lives. I looked at him calmly. You don't know how difficult the mountain road is to walk. I have learned rock climbing. I punched the cotton again. He said, what I mean is that the love is separated by mountains and seas, and mountains and seas can be leveled. I rubbed my temples and said, don't level mountains and seas. I had nothing to do, so I went to sweep the pig food. He went to the corner and got a bamboo broom and really started sweeping the floor. After sweeping, he looked at me. Are you serious enough to pick up the manure and take it to the field? I shook my head. No, it's winter now. I put the broom back in place. Although it is winter, my heart is not cold. The nearby pigs are grunting and the chickens are clucking, but its voice is still very clear to my ears. Like once it is thrown into the lake, it stirs up 1,000 waves in my heart. I turn my head and force myself to calm down. I have been feeding chickens in the village for a month, and my heart is harder than chicken manure that has been frozen for 2 days. It sighed faintly. Some people are in love, some people watch the sea at night, and some people cross the ocean to pursue their fiancés but failed. I muttered in my heart that some people get up early to feed the chickens and get pecked by the chickens. Nietzsche lives in the homestay at the entrance of the village, and Han Shaochen is also going to live in the village today. He said that he has feelings for the pigs at home, and he will not feel at ease until he delivers the baby for him personally. I don't know how he convinced his foster mother. The foster mother looked helpless before she left. Son but did not scold him. At night, Han Shaochen came to live in the same room with me, holding a pillow. We gathered around the old-fashioned stove to warm ourselves. The flickering firelight illuminated his eyes and eyebrows. Eldest disciple, in fact, the Liu family reproposed the marriage just after you left. I was a little sad. I guessed that he said, I will definitely not steal your partner, but Camouflage's mother insisted on pushing his green bubble to me, and my heart was pulled up. Then he arrived, and then Camouflage resisted. His card was also limited, and he also sat in economy class when he returned to China. I guess he would have to go abroad as a homer. I saw that he was so sincere, so I agreed to pass on a few words to you. My mind went blank for a moment, and subconsciously remembered that Camouflage was once a rich girl. Sister, now you have to worry about the ticket to return home because of me, and your heart is depressed. I said, please tell him not to do this anymore. Han Shaochen waved his hand and said, you two are talkative. I won't pass on the message or talk about him anymore. Let's talk about serious things, okay? There was the sound of falling snow outside the window, and the room was warm, which was very suitable for a long chat. Han Shaochen hugged the pillow and said in a low voice, in fact, before I went home, I had a lot of opinions about you. I slid down on my knees to repent. I'm sorry to her and said goodbye and apologized again. Before I met you, I thought if you were like other green tea fake masters and wanted to target me, I would shake 1 million netizens to give me some tricks, but you didn't take anything with you. You were so cute and willing to go back to the village to help your grandma after you left. He touched his chin, pretending to be hesitant. You are very different as a man. He came forward, his eyes sparkling. We are destined to be taken away by mistake. I nodded and curled the corners of my lips. Yes, it's a very small probability that I happen to be on the life trajectory he should take, he said, but my biological father seemed very dissatisfied with me. I have been studying for more than a month, but I am not sure to enter the company. I comforted him and said, it's just a matter of time. You used to be able to manage hundreds of chickens, and of course being an administrator is no problem. I am still being pecked by chickens now. Han Xiaochen chuckled. With your status, shouldn't you kill any chicken you want? That's the truth, but I can't kill the 9 clans of the chicken every day, he said. But then again, are you willing to come to the company to study with me? There are some issues I really don't understand. For example, there are 12 liters on the scene, but only 11 glasses of water. Please help me, eldest disciple. After all, I am just a weak, pitiful, and helpless veterinarian. As for grandma, I will ask someone for help. You can't keep feeding the pigs, right? I hesitated for a moment and nodded. After seeing the paternity test, I was at a loss for a long time and couldn't sleep all night. I didn't know how to restart my life. I had been following the routine. At the age of 22, I finished studying business information management, entered my own company to study, and then married camouflage a few years later. All the plans were broken by the paternity test. I couldn't stay in the company with a clear conscience. I didn't know what to do next. I could only return to the village in confusion, manage hundreds of chickens, and then negotiate the pig price with the pig dealer. Grandma always rubbed her hands, smiled and praised me with a bit of alienation and courtesy. Xiaoli studied in a university abroad, so he is smart. He can sell pork for more than 10 yuan per pound. I can only smile and respond to his thoughts, but my emotions are erratic. What should I do in the future? How can I completely let go of my previous arrogance and find a mediocre job to support myself? I don't know now. Han Xiaochen spoke. He thought I could help him. I was like a drowning person who suddenly grabbed a driftwood. I choked with red eyes and said, thank you, Xiaochen. He said that I should thank you. The eldest disciple is fine, let's go to sleep. He pulled the quilt to cover both of our bodies. Good night, Makabaka. I didn't fall asleep. I tiptoed out of bed late at night, put on a big flower jacket and walked outside. I pulled camouflage off the blacklist, and then played a voice message with trembling hands. He answered immediately with a very gentle voice, just like he usually spoke, with an upward tail tone and a little smile. Snow is falling outside the window, and so is my heart. Is my fiancé here to pour cold water on me again? I am homesick. I don't know how to start. I can only ask, have you bought the ticket back to London? He said yes, only 2 words. I already have the answer in my heart, economy class. He was silent for 3 seconds, then smiled and said, you guessed it, he said to me. As if to take credit, I waited for a long time to buy the ticket, only 1,600. I sighed, youth has no price. It will definitely go directly to London. He pretended to be relaxed. I may not come back for Easter. The next time I come back should be after graduation. By then my wings will be hard. My mother will no longer be able to control me. Then the voice gradually weakened. No, let's separate. Camouflage has taken 99 steps towards me. I heard myself say okay. A few days later, the pig at home gave birth. Han Xiaochen personally went to deliver the baby and also provided postpartum care for the sow. The thing he had been thinking about was done, and he wanted to take me back to the city. I got in the family car again and Han Xiaochen sat beside me. Because of nervousness and excitement, his hands trembled as he clenched the corner of his clothes. I am about to open a new copy, Xiaoli. I smiled and said to him, come on, Xiaochen. The car slowly drove out of the village. I looked back again, at the place where I had stayed for a short time. After Han Xiaochen came back, the Han family did not officially announce his identity, but everyone knew it. When the two of us entered the company together, everyone's eyes were meaningful. I don't care. It's good enough that he can let me work in the company. I can't care what others think. My position is Han Xiaochen's assistant. I have been staying in the company with my adoptive mother since I was a child. I have been influenced by her and understand the ways of the world, and also meet Han Xiaochen, a client I often cooperate with. I decided the restaurant for the first meeting with the client. Every dish was selected by me after I inquired about the client's preferences. I would list the precautions one by one and tell him. In the corridor of the hotel, I ran into my old friend Xiaoyu. In order to help her family and reach a cooperation with the Han family, she took the initiative to make friends with me and spoke to me in a humble voice. But now she folded her arms and sneered at Han Li condescendingly. I didn't expect that you have fallen to work for others now. I know her heart. She didn't want to regain the face she lost with me when I was down and out. Don't argue with idiots. I glanced at him lightly and turned to leave. He stopped me and said unforgivingly, how much did Mr. Han charge you? I can add a little to you. It's the same when I work, he added meaningfully, and besides we don't have such a big hatred. Does he think Han Xiaochen and I have a deep hatred? I laughed angrily, and when I was about to scold him, Han Xiaochen came over. He stood in front of Xiaoyu and his voice was louder than his. Where do you get the capital to ask my brother to work for you? You should grow some mushrooms in the cellar. If he is uneducated, forget it. He has always been sharp-tongued. This scolding, people have to react for a few seconds before they can understand. Xiaoyu was stunned for a few seconds, then blushed. Han Xiaochen easily took my hand. Don't worry about the broken house, brother. Let's go. The eldest disciple taught me high emotional intelligence. I really can't handle the reply to that group of elders. I laughed. Okay, I rented a house near the company. Han Xiaocheng asked me to live with him at home many times. I declined one by one. I was afraid that the adoptive mother would put the two of us together again. Comparing them together will make Han Hyosung sad. Since he scolded someone for me last time, my colleague's attitude towards me has improved. Maybe they just found out that real and fake young masters are not incompatible. I was joking with him. What is this? Brother's thigh. Hug him, and he replied with a smile. Xiaoli, the Nietzsche I took a photo of has returned to England to study. He began to swing the spatula to be self-reliant. It's raining in London. I miss you so much. What are you doing? The picture is a simple version of white people's rice that is tasteless and a pity to throw away. I said don't rain. The corn can't be dried. Camouflage. Are you doing farm work again? I'm joking again. Haha, I'm helping Xiaochen organize the forms, and then transferred him 5,000 with a note to eat something good. Han Xiaochen paid me a high salary. I'm a business locust and often followed him to various meetings to eat tea and meals. I can't spend much and can save it. Most of it is simply subsidized to the homeless in London. Camouflage he sent a shocked expression package, and then refused to accept it. Sister just loves to experience life and pick up some garbage to eat. You should use this money yourself. Green Bubble can refuse to accept it. I directly and quietly transferred it to his Alipay. I followed Han Xiaochen to attend various occasions. He gradually became able to cope with it all, and talked and laughed with various bigwigs. When talking about me, he always smiled and said that this was my younger brother Xiaoli. His attitude was the attitude of the Han family, so in the eyes of most people, I became the second young master of the Han family again. At the beginning of summer, Camouflage graduated, and Bai Yueguang returned to China to work. I asked Han Xiaochen for leave in advance to pick him up at the airport. He agreed at once and took out a contract from the bottom of the drawer for me. This is what your parents prepared for you a long time ago. Marriage 15% of the shares of the gift company and several houses. The house deeds and keys are at home. I will bring them to you tomorrow. I was stunned. It's too early to talk about the wedding now. I'm just picking him up at the airport. He touched his chin and said, "Okay, that's right, but you sign it first." "I don't want more and I won't take it anyway," Han Xiaochen said. "But Mom and Dad have already decided to give it to you." I thought about it and said, "Then I'll give it to you." He's a very nice person. I glanced at the time and said, "No more, brother. I'm going to pick him up at the airport. I will take the subway first and then ride a bike for a while." On the way I bought a cup of Mishua Bingcheng for Camouflage. He has never drunk it, so I'll bring it to him to try. I only waited at the exit for a while and he came out with a suitcase. He had lost some weight and the short skirt he was wearing was an old style from last summer. When she saw me, she curled her lips and said, "You are here, Xiaoli." I nodded and put my hand. I handed her the orange juice in the box. She put a straw in it and started drinking. "Did you come here by car?" I said I came by bicycle. She was sure that you had to ride your bicycle for hours to see me. You really have me in your heart. In fact, I took the subway. Never mind. I smiled and said, "Yes, I have you in my heart." Because Camouflage also brought luggage, it was inconvenient for him to ride a bicycle with me, so we could only take a taxi. When setting the destination, I asked him if he wanted to go home. He shook his head. My mother said she would break my legs if she saw me again. He knew the limits since he was a child and was worry-free. I didn't expect that in his 20s, he would be so rebellious that the elders who had always been satisfied with him threatened to beat him. I felt a little guilty. Okay, let's go back to my house first. I took Camouflage back to the house I rented. On the way he received a phone call. His mother's stern voice came out. "Appoint me. Did you get it?" Camouflage is very stubborn. Without his mother, he is not a poor boy. He promised me that he would run the family business with me when I come back from studying abroad. The voice on the other side trembled with anger. "Whose family business are you going to run? It won't be mine, right?" Camouflage said, "No, I will run yours and he will run his brother's. We both have a bright future." Then the other party hung up. Half a year ago, I might have been very panicked and felt that I had delayed him. Now, after working for half a year, I have let it go. He is just a yellow-haired man to me. So what? It's dinner time. I'm about to order takeout. Nietzsche has already skillfully located the location of the vegetable market. Let me do it. He bought the vegetables, put on an apron, and cut vegetables on the chopping board. The warm yellow light shone on his eyebrows and eyes. He is a super beautiful woman with 7 senses. The two families were decided last year. We will get married after he graduates with a master's degree. But then an accident happened and no one took the initiative anymore. It was time to move on. Nietzsche made a bet with his friends on whether he could succeed in starting his own business. Because of the bet, he borrowed several million and then started working at home day and night. As usual, he helped Han Xiaochen deal with matters big and small. Later, he was able to take charge of himself and gradually got involved in more business. His adoptive mother was very satisfied with his progress. She said in front of everyone with satisfaction that she had really raised 2 good sons, and he still treated me as her son. With the success of Camouflage's business, his wings were really strong. His father finally relented and asked him to go back and inherit the family business. As for the engagement, it still had to be fulfilled. Han Xiaochen gave me a holiday and asked me to prepare for the wedding. He took out a lot of notebooks and said they were for me. My client's brother's brother got married, and his brother gave a lot to his brother. I can't lose to him this strange desire to win. I smiled so hard that my eyes bent. "Brother, you are such a good person. I will always stick to you. I have been used to the role of the younger brother. I want to be my brother's liquor. I used to be the only son of the Han family. My adoptive parents were strict with me. They asked me not to show my emotions and to be indifferent. I was almost kidnapped by the word indifferent as a chrysanthemum. Several boys with the same family background as me could not play with me. We just got along with each other politely. Only Han Xiaochen was my only real friend, the one who could really call me brother. When my grandmother learned that I was going to get married, she also prepared a lot of things for me. The pigs and chickens in the family and other livestock and poultry all went with me. Camouflage marked out a piece of land in the yard for a pig pen and chicken shed. His mother was unhappy when she saw it, thinking that he was messing around again. Camouflage said to me seriously, "The pigs and chickens are Grandma's." "Heart, I will take good care of them," I whispered. "Is it possible Grandma means to kill them and eat them?" There was some hesitation in his tone. "Can I not? I can't bear to do it, to send pigs and chickens to the end. It's a bit abstract, but understandable." On the wedding day, my adoptive parents and biological parents were all there. A small part of the guests were my aunts and uncles in the countryside, more were my adoptive parents, and the rich relatives on the Liu family side. The big screen played my past with camouflage. At the age of 16 I went abroad to study in high school, became Camouflage's junior. A young boy who had just begun to fall in love, implicitly wrote down this boundless universe. It was nothing but an illusion to me. I was ignorant and unromantic. Can you speak human words? You'd better. At the age of 18 I agreed to his confession holiday, after returning to China, because we were well matched. The two families also cooperated. We got engaged as planned. At the age of 21, I returned to China and started a long-distance relationship with him. He photographed every first snow in London and invited me to come before Christmas. Until last year, I fell from the clouds and became a fake young master. I returned to the countryside to comfort him. For the first time, I did not listen to the arrangements of my family and let the card be limited. He lived a tight life in London and almost became a homeless person. He never spoiled the fun. It was winter time in the UK. At the end of the video, his voice was affectionate. Xiaoli, I can't steer the boat, but Tang Sure, you are on the faraway seashore, and I will brave the wind and waves to find your treasure. This video is very romantic. Han Hyosung took the lead in applauding. As a villain in the audience, Camouflage's father's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Camouflage and I smiled at each other. From now on, our long summer will never fade. The end.